Spooty, and I'm here to show off Descent Maximum. I've got Gromfaloon with me on the couch here. And yeah, we're just gonna hop right into it. Before I start though, I do just want to give a heads up. This game is a little bit rough for anyone who's prone to motion sickness, and there's some flashbangs, some flashes occasionally. So just, you know, heads up, fair warning to anyone who might be affected by that before we jump into this. Yeah, I think we are ready to go. So I will go ahead and count down. Time starts as soon as the gameplay loads up after I dismiss the intro screen. So in about 3, 2, 1, go. So this is Descent Maximum. Descent Maximum is the level set from the PlayStation port of Descent 2. They kind of realized that, you know, compared to mouse and keyboard, with the PlayStation controller, you have very limited control options, especially for a game like this, where you have movement, full free movement and rotation in all 3 dimensions. So for when they ported the game to PlayStation, they redesigned all the levels to be a lot simpler, a lot flatter. And since then, the levels have gotten backported to PC, so we are going to be destroying these levels with much more advanced movement than they were originally intended to have available. Speaking of movement, first thing you might notice is that I am not at all flying in a straight line, and that is because there's no real check. You know, the movement system is very simple. You press forward, you go forward at a given speed. You press right, you go right at a given speed. And if you combine multiple at once, it doesn't set you to that max speed, it just adds them together. So I'm going to be pointing at a diagonal angle most of the time to maximize my speed. If I use 3 axes of movement, I probably move about like 70–80% faster. It's a lot faster than flying straight forward. And you'll be seeing that a lot. So a lot of the movement tech in this is just about trying to find that perfect angle and maximizing your time in it. But you still have to flick out of it every now and then to deal with enemies, to open doors. Speaking of enemies, this 3rd level, Destination Sony, introduces these diamond claws right here, these brown guys with the claws. They are one of the worst enemies in the game. They're a melee type enemy. They love to push you around. They can fire a plasma energy counter whenever they're hit with an energy weapon, and they're pretty bulky. So a lot of my movement is going to be around trying to get around those. Coming up on the first boss level here, and we do get introduced to the sidearms and sidearm modula, which shoot flash missiles. So warning, if the screen suddenly flashes white, means I got hit by a flashbang. Also introduces these green lugards here. They shoot homing missiles, which are very damaging and tough to avoid. Thankfully, tricording means I can kind of outrun them a little bit, but it's still really difficult to avoid homing missiles. Just gonna... Yeah, if I circle strafe real quick, I can avoid the homing missiles there. Just kind of stun lock them as I come back out from that red key. So yeah, every level, gameplay loop's pretty simple. You grab blue, yellow, red keys, you make your way to the reactor of the boss, you take it out, and you reach the exit before the countdown expires. If you die during the countdown, you go to the next level, but lose all of your equipment. So first boss here, I am going to be taking this cloaking device to help me out with this, so that the boss's homing missiles can't lock on. And we're just going to do a little circle strafing and hoping that the diamond claws don't block me in as I take this guy down. Should be almost dead. There he goes. Okay. Good boss fight. That one's honestly like one of the worst ones. So we're moving on to World 2, Quartzon, the water world. So this game's divided into 6 worlds of 4 levels each. The water world, Quartzon here, you know, we have this water here. It's a pretty basic stage hazard. Water just kind of shakes your ship a bit if you hit it, and any weapons that deal splash damage will not deal splash damage if it hits water. And we're also going to be picking up, going into this secret passage here a little bit and grabbing the afterburner. The afterburner can use energy to give you a little bit of extra forward speed. Because the movement in this game wasn't complicated enough, now whenever I use the afterburner, I got to point a little further forward to get the optimal routing. And we also get introduced to the Thief Bot. We'll see him coming up right here. There he is. The Thief Bot will most of the time try and run away from you, but sometimes he'll get in the mood to try and steal your stuff. And if he touches you while he's in that mode, he's going to take a random set of 1 to 3 items, and it does kind of prefer to try and take the quad laser upgrade and the afterburner. So I really want to avoid that if I can help it. All right, so there we go. Level 5 down and on to level 6. Not too much new going on here. A lot of diamond claws in these like kind of sewer pipe areas. Perfect time for a donation or two if you got one.
Fantastic. I do have those. In fact, I've got $25 from Chef Mayhem that says, Descent, how about 2,500 cents? Let's go, Spooty. And as a matter of fact, cents, if you want to get your donations in cents for this run of Descent Maximum, I would love to read those. Do you have time for one more?
Yeah, go for it.
Fantastic. I have $10 from the French Restream, and it says, hello, this donation is to put the game in French in the Shadow Generations run. Good marathon, everyone. Thank you so much for that. As a reminder, that bid war is open for the language choice of Shadow Generations.
So this is a point where the thief bot loves to sneak up on me, so I dropped a bunch of proximity mines there to try and keep him off my back. Thankfully, it looks like it worked. Thief bot didn't interrupt me there. That's a spot where it's very common to lose your quad lasers to the thief bot while you're taking out the reactor. I did kind of keep an eye on the rear view camera in the bottom left to make sure it wasn't sneaking up on me, and yeah, it was clear. So yeah, I did go into a little bit of a secret passage there to get a super laser upgrade. So, you know, lasers are now gold. That's level 5. It's a little bit of extra damage. Not very consequential, but it helps a little bit. This level introduces a bot that the community likes to call guppies. They're these little pufferfish robots that are floating around really, really fast and dropping these red proximity mines. When mines get dropped, they kind of inherit some of the momentum of the entity dropping them. So with how fast these guys can move, sometimes mines get flown into your face, like just thrown into your face. And it makes this level a little dangerous. Gotta be mindful of the potential for those mines just flying out of these guys. They've been pretty cooperative so far here, so we're looking pretty good here. We're gonna see our first, or not see, it's kind of hard to see, but our first cloaked diamond claw there, guarding the reactor here. Just kind of take indirect routes to avoid getting hit by it. Whenever those show up, if you kill them, sometimes they will drop cloaking devices for you, but that's RNG. It's always helpful if they do. Makes it easier to get past enemies, because enemies will just ignore you, with a chance to respond to you if you shoot or use the afterburner or crash into a wall. Using homing missiles here to take out these diamond claws a little more quickly because they're kind of in the way. And we grab this blue key here and gonna grab some extra energy because this is our second boss level, so I do need the extra energy. Energy, to be clear, is that yellow gold gauge in the bottom left and is used for the afterburner and for most primary weapons. The blue number in the center is my shield level. It's essentially my health. And the red gauge in the bottom left is the afterburner, just as a quick explanation of what's going on the UI. So yeah, just a couple of quick runs to the key pickup. So we did get lucky, and the cloaked diamond claw in this hallway dropped a cloak. Unfortunately, I hadn't quite killed that diamond claw. It had like 1 HP and pushed me back, so that's a little time loss. But we're just gonna shoot this switch out to access the red key and head for the boss. Unlike the first boss, the second boss is a giant pushover. Its arena is much larger, so there's a ton of room to dodge, and it only has mercury missiles, which are just dumbfire, and these smart mines that it lays, which as long as I just kind of wiggle around in a circle, nothing should hit me here. So I just gotta make sure I am hitting consistently with my shots, and there we go. It goes down. We're gonna head for the exit. There is a diamond claw in the exit shaft. If we're lucky, it'll come out on its own. It did, nice. Perfect. So we got our first quad clip here. The quad laser adds 2 projectiles to your laser attack, and those 2 projectiles actually spawn slightly ahead of the ship. So with the right angle, if there's a door, like a locked door with a switch right on the other side, you can just clip those additional shots through the door and hit the switch early. So that saved a couple of seconds. Just normally you'd have to fly down the hallway towards the cage with the blue key in it to get that door to open, but you can just shoot it right away with quad clipping. Little bit of secret switch smashing here to grab the Gauss Cannon. This is a non-energy primary weapon. It uses Vulcan ammo as its ammunition, which, yeah, carries a lot of advantages. The projectiles are very fast, which makes it good for opening doors from a distance, so that you don't get hung up on half-open doors. It also being a non-energy weapon means that if one of these diamond claws is in the way, you don't have to worry about the plasma a counterattack, because that only triggers on energy-based attacks. So coming up on the reactor here, we're just gonna open the reactor and back away as we shoot it, because the exit's right here. And we move on to level 10. So yeah, this is, we're a little ways into the third world Brimspark. Brimspark is lava themed. You can see it on the floor here. Lava is a little bit dangerous. It deals damage to you pretty much per frame on contact. And any weapons that hit lava will deal splash damage to nearby enemies or players. So yeah, even if you dodge incoming attacks when you're near lava, there's a good chance you're still taking damage here. Thiefbot kind of a bit of a tease there. Usually the Thiefbot kind of moves forward there and clears out those mines in that hallway for me, but turned around and was forced to kind of slow down and shoot them myself. So we're coming up here. We've got, yeah, these graded doors are a little annoying. Sometimes you go to shoot them and the shots just go through the grades and you don't open the door. I'm gonna try and shoot out this smelter from the red key here, and we're gonna try and grab this red key and get out real quickly before these diamond claws box me into this little hallway. Okay, good. We're in good shape there. If you're not quick enough, those diamond claws box you into that narrow hallway, and it's really slow to take them out. Whoop. Can I squeeze under here? Okay, good, good. So yeah, we briefly saw a new melee type enemy over there, the E-Bandit, those gold guys that were guarding those switches. They deal damage to your energy reserves if they hit you, so obviously we'd like to save that for dealing damage and after, using the afterburner, so really want to try to avoid getting hit by E-Bandits if possible. This next level, we kind of have a bit of a shortcut. Oh, surprise, okay. There's a secret area here with a bunch of extra power-ups. It's locked until you get to the end, but the Thiefbot starts in it and immediately opens it. So if you just rush in, you can get in there before it closes and locks, and you just skip most of the level. Oh, come on, get out of the way. So yeah, we just kind of bypass pretty much the entire level here, just going through this little secret area. And we'll be moving on to the next boss level. This would be a good time for a donation or two.
Fabulous, because I have donations really rolling in, like this $25 from Steve that says, I am incentivized to present my 2,500 cents for the game of the moment, Descent.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So yeah, this boss level is all about shooting switches to open doors and lower walls. So we're going to be flying back and forth, shooting out these control panels just to open up cages to the next key. Yeah, coming up on this boss is immune to energy weapons, so I will be using the Gauss Cannon and missiles to take it out. It has mega missiles, which are very dangerous. They're a homing missile with a huge blast radius and a ton of damage. So I'm going to be going into this secret invulnerability pickup as I head for the boss fight here. And yeah, thankfully, the invulnerability pretty much trivializes this boss. We're able to just, go in and hold the fire buttons together until it goes down. And there it goes. So we'll just grab a couple of missiles while we wait for it to explode, and we'll be moving on to the ice world, Lime Frost Spiral. Thankfully, since we're free flying, there are no ice physics to contend with, which is a mercy, because this game is already very hard to handle. Yeah, I did kind of touch on it briefly while I was talking about movement at the beginning, but this game doesn't really have, unlike a lot of first-person shooters, there is not free mouse look. Like, every movement and rotation option is bound by the game's physics engine. So there's like, acceleration, deceleration, max speeds to how fast I can rotate. So yeah, it's pretty tough to keep the movement optimized here. These Spindlebots drop Helix Cannons, which are the best primary weapon in the game. You saw how fast that shoots through the reactor. The downside to the Helix Cannon, though, is that it is a huge energy hog. So I need to be very careful from here on about how I'm using my energy, because I need to make sure I have enough energy at the end of levels to take out the reactors quickly. So this level's a little bit long-winded. A lot of diamond claws that we got to fly around here. Okay, that one snagged me a little bit, but not too bad. And we're gonna head over here towards the yellow and red keys. Great time for another donation if you got one.
Oh, I certainly do have them. Like this $50 from Genshin that says, as a kid, I owned an N64 game that I only remembered very vague details of. It was a space shooter where you had 360-degree freedom of movement.
Forsaken. That's Forsaken.
And flew through the colorful corridors. For the life of me, I couldn't find the game. Imagine my amazement as I'm watching AGDQ25 and seeing that exact game being played right now, excuse me. Thank you, Spooty, for the amazing run and childhood nostalgia.
Okay, pretty good on shield here. There's a safety cloak I could grab in the reactor room, but I have a lot of shield. I can skip it, save a little bit of time. And we're gonna be coming up on the third ice level, which is, we're gonna see these Mercury missiles right here. Mercury missiles are pretty strong. They're a very fast-moving missile that deals a lot of damage. Just very useful for helping to kill bosses and key enemies quickly. We also get introduced to the enemies that have Mercury missiles in their arsenal. The Seeker, I already killed one a little earlier. Similarly, you know, their Mercury missiles are just about as much of a threat, so when there's Seekers in the area, I usually try and take them out quickly. Grab the energy to shield converter there. Not likely it's going to get used, but it will let me convert extra energy above 100 into shield if I need a little bit of extra health. But yeah, chances are it's not going to get used, especially since we're going to lose a lot of our equipment in a couple of levels here. Coming up on here, yeah, just got to dodge these Mercury missiles here. And there's a fake wall here hiding this reactor, so we just kind of shoot into it. And we're coming up on the next boss level. There's a lot of, come on, Diamond Claws, please. There we go. There's a lot going on in this boss level, despite it being very short here. So first things first, we gotta shoot this control panel across here, and we're gonna grab this Earthshaker missile. This boss is immune to energy weapons, so can't use my overpowered Helix cannon here, but I will use this Earthshaker missile to help soften up this boss early, like that. It's gonna shake the whole level, make a movement real hard for a second there. We need to hit this switch as well, and then we're going to be using an exploit here. You can drop markers, which will mark a spot on your mini-map. They have no collision, but they will block doors. And this door below me that I'm about to go through does lock from the inside. So we're just gonna go ahead and get into position here and drop a map marker. And then we're gonna take on the boss, which should be pretty softened up already. Does have flash missile system, so yeah, apologies for the white flashes, but there we go, it goes down. The door is held open by the map marker, and we can leave real easily and go to World 5. So a couple of new tricks here on this level. This is our one guided missile trick. The original Descent 2 has a lot of this, but with the smaller levels here, there's a lot less application to it here. So just one guided missile flight there to hit, open this door that's locked from the inside. I'm gonna drop down to one smart mine here. We are gonna want a death warp. When you die, you respawn at the start and lose all your gear. I dropped the Helix cannon there because I want to be able to pick that up later. If you are at exactly one smart mine, when you die and drop items, you will drop a live smart mine. I'm gonna use that to kill the reactor such that it dies after I respawn. I am gonna drop a safety save here because this is a little inconsistent, but it saves time. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. This generally does take a couple of tries. The angle that the mine pops out at, that's the wrong weapon here. I should switch the correct weapons and then drop another safety save again. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. There it is. Second try on that is very good. It's, like I said, it's inconsistent, so yeah, very happy to get that. So I do lose most of my equipment, but thankfully, Afterburner, quad lasers, and then we can kill the bulk destroyer up here for Gauss, and we've pretty much got everything we need again. So yeah, just works out very conveniently. The keys are held by bots here, but thankfully I can just quad clip through that. I don't need the blue key, so it doesn't really matter that the blue key bot ran away from me here. The yellow key bot, on the other hand, I do need to take this because I do need this yellow key. Thankfully, it behaved pretty well. Yeah, those guppies, again, you know, they move extremely fast. They're really hard to chase down if they get away from you, so... oh, apparently missed the switch there. There we go. So yeah, glad the yellow guppy there behaved well. So yeah, World 5 is all about these, like, kind of... this is where they kind of upped the complexity of the geometry. We see a lot of these, like, twisty corkscrew paths and like roller coaster like layouts that are, you know, pretty common in Descent usually, but they kind of went a little easier on in Maximum to accommodate the PS2 controls. So we're hopefully not going to run into any of the bomb guppies here. Okay, good. So this level, we're going to take advantage of a shortcut here to skip the yellow key. There's a lot of smaller connecting rooms that open up into one bigger space. I'm going to be making sure to pick up things that give extra energy, though, because I need plenty of energy in the next level. The next boss is only vulnerable to energy weapons, so I need to make sure I have enough energy going into that level to take it down without having to double back to the energy center. So just go through here to trigger this wall to open. And then we can take a shortcut straight to the red door, thanks to some of the switches that we shot earlier. There we go. And we will come up on the boss right here. All right. So this level is all of the keys are held by these guppies, but thankfully every key just leads to a switch right behind it that that lowers the force field, so I can just quad clip for any keys that I miss. I need to be very careful I don't run into those smart mines. Those gold smart mines will pretty much one-shot me if I crash right into them, so gotta be very careful because all of the key bots drop them here. And yeah, again, I'm going to be using the Gauss cannon the whole time here because I need to make sure I have enough energy to take out the boss at the end. The energy centers are a long way back if I run out of energy and I'm forced to backtrack. Okay, got the red key there, so that does save me a little bit of time since I don't have to go all the way up to the red door. Yeah, again, you need to go like pretty much right up against the doors in order to do the quad clip. So I'm just gonna take out some of the enemies in the narrow hallway here, and we'll grab an info and take out the boss. Pretty straightforward, just get in its face and hold M1. So this is a good time for some donations.
We have so many donations coming in for this run, which we really genuinely appreciate, like the $75 from Halperin that says, I love Descent and all of its offshoot games, and thanks to open source, you too can continue to play Descent 1, 2, and even Descent 3 now on modern hardware. Thanks, Spooty, for bringing Descent to GDQ.
Self-destruct sequence activated.
All right, so yeah, very straightforward boss there, as long as you have the energy. If you don't have the energy, you gotta go like all the way back to the red door to hit an energy center and refill. And just like that, we're already on the last world. So the last world's just gonna be kind of green colored, and it's gonna introduce some pretty dangerous enemies. The first and most common of which we're about to see right here, the spider. So spiders shoot burst fire concussion missiles, which are pretty heavy on the damage and also deal splash damage. So even if you dodge the direct hits, if there's walls or obstacles nearby, you're likely still taking damage. And what's more, on top of that, sometimes when you kill them, they can randomly drop these small little green hornet spawn enemies. They're not too much of a threat, but they do just kind of add one extra layer of stuff you gotta deal with. So, you know, hopefully whenever I take them out, they don't drop any of those. So coming up, there's a couple of spiders potentially blocking this door. Yep, there they are. Okay, get around them. Hopefully we see a cloak drop here. Nice, that's a cloak drop. That will make this next stretch a little easier. Oh, come on. Hit the switch there, hit this switch here. That's the Omega Cannon. The game considers it to be the best primary weapon in the game. It's actually pretty useless. It fires like a homing bolt of electricity, but it needs time to recharge and the damage on it isn't great. So, while it's great if you have trouble aiming, not gonna be seeing any use of the Omega Cannon in this run. And yeah, just 3 levels to go. We've got Alien Nation here. There's gonna be a lot of spiders and such going on here. There's the blue key here. We can actually quad clip the blue door because it's just a switch on the other side, but it's just faster to grab the key and shoot the switch from there. And I'm gonna grab a cloaking device here for a bit of safety. It's just gonna let me go through this swarm. There's the whole time I was grabbing that blue key, there were a couple of enemy materialization centers spawning in extra enemies there, so it's nice to have the cloak to just be able to fly through it without having to worry about it. Yellow key from that lugar here, and yeah, to switch the Gauss cannon again. You know, Gauss cannon great for just opening doors quickly. And this hallway is very narrow and very awkward to navigate, but got the red key here. just try and get in and out before those diamond claws block me in. And we'll be coming up on a reactor. This reactor room's got a bit of a puzzle where the doors lock you in, and you have to go into a secret side area to open them back up. Thankfully, the side area happens to have an Earthshaker missile, which I want for the next level anyway. So very convenient. That, yeah, picking that up opens the way back out of the reactor room here.
Self-destruct sequence
Just got to fly around a couple of spiders on the way to the exit, and then we are on to the second to last level, already coming up on the end of the run here. So this is one of the most dangerous levels, and yeah, like I said, I grab an Earthshaker missile here, and I do that for this room coming up here. There's a couple of spiders beyond some grates, and they will just shoot at you. The missiles will generally just slam into the grates and immediately explode and just do damage to you nearly instantaneously. So I'm just gonna throw an Earthshaker in there to hopefully clear this all out. And yeah, sure enough, the spiders are gone, so I don't have to worry about that that nasty trap room. This level also introduces our final common enemy type, the Boar's Head. Boar's Heads shoot smart missiles. If smart missiles hit me directly, I will die. 100%. So I need to be very careful about that. Boost right past that lugar before the smart missiles can homing missiles can lock onto me. Just kind of circle strafe so that hopefully I avoid damage from the Boar's Head in that room. And we are oh, Slugard came forward. That's rather aggressive of it. Oh, and okay, got a little low on shield there, but thankfully made it through. And that's the worst level in the game out of the way. Final level here. We're gonna use one last quad clip here to skip grabbing the blue key. Just grab this yellow key right here. And I'm gonna be taking death warps. Death warps are pretty prevalent in the original Descent too, because the levels are a lot larger and sometimes it benefits you to warp to the beginning. But not so much in Descent Maximum. Okay, that's fine. We're done using those anyway. And the red key and the exit are both extremely far out of the way here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and grab the red key here and then immediately take a death. You do keep keys on death. I dropped the Helix can at the start, so I just pick that back up and I head straight for the boss fight. There's an invulnerability on the way into the boss, but I want to die as soon as the boss dies because, as I mentioned before, the level ends if you die during self-destruct. So this boss is vulnerable to damage from behind, so it's just kind of a matter of getting behind him and keeping the front end away from you so that he doesn't shoot those dangerous Earthshaker missiles. Should be going down pretty soon. Yep, there we go. Then we just take the death, wait for the explosion, and time will be as soon as I dismiss this screen. Time. I'm pretty sure that's world record. I think I got a 26:54 a little bit before GDQ. So yeah, that run was super clean. I believe that's a new record. So yeah, just I'll keep it short. Just a couple of quick comments. Yeah, if you think this run looks cool, or ever had the thought of running Descent Maximum's a great starting point. The smaller levels make the movement a lot simpler. It's a lot easier to get into that way. And yeah, I just want to give my thanks and shout outs to GDQ itself. I mentioned it during my UFO 50 run earlier, but this marks my 10th year of participating in GDQ, and my first run was AGDQ 2015 with Descent 1. So it feels really special to exactly 10 years to the day, pretty much, be coming back with Descent Maximum and making everyone motion sick once again. But yeah, I think that's all I've got. I'm just gonna go ahead and get off stage. Yeah, super happy to put on what seems to be a world record run. Thanks everyone for coming out and for showing some support, and enjoy the rest of GDQ.
Can we get one more round of applause for that world record run?